Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Defining Discipline podcast. I'm your host, Scott. This is episode 342, as well as day 342 of my journey. At the beginning of the year, I challenged myself to run 365 days in a row, all outside, bearing the elements, whatever they may bring. I also challenged myself to run 1,500 miles within this time frame and to run two big races within this time frame. One of those races being a 50K ultra marathon trail race. That is the Yankee Springs Trail Race in Middleville, Michigan. That was on day 156 of my journey. Was able to finish that 31-mile race within 7 hours, 15 minutes, and 22 seconds. The next race that came up within this yearly time frame was the Detroit Free Press Marathon. That was on day 290 of my journey. I was able to finish that 26.2-mile race within 3 hours, 57 minutes, and 28 seconds. Both of those records were personal records, or both of those races were personal records for me, the 50K and the marathon. So I was really excited about both of those, and was even more excited to keep the run streak alive after both those big races. Now we're sitting here on day 342. Let's break down the mileage for the day, the week, the month, and the year. So for the day today, day 342, got out there, been keeping it short all week. Got out there and put in 1.5 miles for the day today. That put me at 4.6 miles for the week, which put me at 25.5 miles for the month, which put me at 1,600.9 miles for the year. So we're over 100 miles. We are over 100 miles over the actual yearly goal of 1,500 miles for the year. It was originally 1,250, but we surpassed that quite early on in the year, so we bumped up to 1,500. Now we have surpassed that. Now we're just kind of seeing where we're going to be landing for yearly mileage. But let's quickly focus in on these monthly miles of 25.5. And I want to do so because every single month I challenge myself to run a 100-mile challenge in honor of a charity in which I donate money to, as well as start a coinciding fundraiser to try to raise money for and awareness for throughout that month. For the first 11 months, was able to complete each 100-mile challenge as well as raise money for 11 great charities. Now we're here within the 12th month, the month of December, and we're raising money for yet another great charity. December's 100-mile challenge is in honor of St. Jude Children's Hospital. If you would like to donate to this month's fundraiser or charity, you can find the link to do so on the Defining Discipline Instagram story or the Defining Discipline Facebook story, or my personal page's Instagram story or my personal page's Facebook story. Within those stories, all you do is you click on the link, in which will open up the actual Facebook page where you're able to make your donations. Keep in mind that all donations that get made go directly to this cause. Facebook is not keeping or taking any portion of your donations. I do know times are tough though, as well as not everyone can afford to donate, but they would still like to help out, or maybe you have donated and would like to help out even more. If that is the case, the next best thing you can do is click on that share button within that same page, and you'll be able to help raise awareness for this cause throughout this month here in December. But now let's kind of get ready to get into today's episode now that we've talked about the fundraiser. But as always, right before we get into today's episode, we must go over today's word of the day. So today's word of the day for December 8th, 2021, it is milquetoast. Milquetoast is a timid, meek, or unassertive person. Milquetoast. That is a very interesting word of the day. I liked it. I screenshotted it. It is now in the books. So, let's get into today's actual episode. episode 342, day 342. Before I discuss what today's episode is about and what today's theme is, I do want to quickly give the disclaimer that I have awful migraine. If you're watching the video, you will notice I've had my eyes closed almost the whole entire time, holding my head. If not, you're just listening along. If I kind of space out or anything like that, just wanted to give the reference to the fact that I am dealing with a awful migraine today. Now to get back into today's episode 342, day 342. Today's episode, today's theme, I wanted to talk about honor, and for a couple reasons. One, today is the birthday of one of the most honorable men I have ever known in my life, and I'm grateful to have known. That was my stepfather. He was a very, very honorable man, and to honor him, I wanted to kind of talk about honor in general today for today's episode. And just to give the reference of him, he was a very respected man, had very estimable. He was very outspoken as well, and he could talk your ear off for hours and hours and hours. Very knowledgeable too. He knew a lot of stuff, a lot of knowledge. Would have no doubt would have gave a lot of those Jeopardy guys a run for their money. But in general, he taught me a lot about being honorable and trying to be an honorable person in general. And back when he was teaching me and taught me to do that, it was during my teenage years. So a lot of it I put to the side, thinking not really appreciating the things he was teaching me, and the things he was trying to instill within me, the honorable things he was trying to instill within me. And kind of looking back, and kind of reminiscing on them and thinking about them, I'm grateful to even had those moments, and I'm grateful to have known him and to have had him to be part of my life. To be honorable, it's to kind of adhere to what is right, and to kind of live by that standard, and to be an honorable person. It's definitely a lot easier said than done. A lot of us like to believe we are honorable, but a lot of us do very dishonorable things. And a lot of us do it probably on a daily basis without even thinking about it. It's just within our nature. So one thing, I've tried to do on a daily basis, and I'm only going to try to do more and try to really think about doing it more and more and more, is do the honorable thing. It is to really challenge myself to find myself within those moments and be as honorable as possible. And being honorable isn't the easy thing to do always. It's sometimes some of the hardest things, situations to deal with are the situations in which you have to be honorable, or you have to discuss things like that. So just wanted to talk about that for the day today, for today's episode, because it truly does mean something to me. And I am glad and I am honored, like I said, to have had the pleasure to have had him in my life to teach me and to instill that for me. So every single day I've been trying, and I'm going to continue to try, because that's again what this podcast is been mostly about. It's been about to work on ourselves on a day-to-day basis to really focus in on being the best versions of ourselves possible, and to instead of pointing the finger at what other people could do, but to really focus in on what we can do on our own to really try to be the best versions of ourselves. So, that being said, I really want to work on being honorable. I want to be remembered as being honorable. I want to have honor. I want to do things with honor. And again, this is something that takes a day-to-day work. It's not just something you can do once and muscle memory. It's something that it takes work every single day, and that's kind of like with my running. I've been out there every single day this year. If you want to be an honorable person, it takes work every single day. And a lot of these subjects I've talked about have been things that we have to work on a day-to-day basis. So just wanted to talk about that, bring up that, and to try to be an honorable person is what I am working forward and working towards every single day. So with that in mind, I want to get ready to close today's episode out. Episode 342, if you guys can. For your daily discipline today, it is as well to be honorable, to look at those who are honorable and try to be as honorable as possible on a personal level. We all know the things that we do that aren't as honorable. We do them for all different reasons. Let's try to avoid doing them and do the honorable things when those situations arise, and let's try to be remembered with honor, and let's try to live with honor on a day-to-day basis. That is actually your daily discipline for the day today. It is to live with honor and be honorable. Other than that, thank you guys so much for following along and listening. I do apologize for the quickness of the podcast, and again, the kind of just out there, me kind of just losing my attention here and there, just trying to deal with this migraine. So I really do appreciate it, guys. Thank you for listening to episode 342 of the Defining Discipline podcast. I'm your host, Scott. If you guys can, please give this podcast a like, a subscribe, a follow, a share on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and whatever other podcast streaming platform you've been following along and listening on. Other than that, thank you guys so much. I will see you guys tomorrow for episode 243. Make sure you guys get your daily discipline done. Stay disciplined. Get your donations in for this month's fundraiser. And other than that, peace out. Thanks, guys.